So Bob right here calls me out after losing this point. Let's watch it and then we'll analyze it.
Overheads are going as expected this match.
Good point. Damn, dude, 2-minute tennis.
He says, damn you, 2-minute tennis, because 2-minute tennis always says how your opponent should just go down the line. And I didn't do that. I went cross court, but it worked. So he was covering down the line expecting me to do that, and I went cross court.
Okay, Brett, I'm going to try to save my reputation here. Here we go. A couple things before we even talk about the passing shot heard around the world. First off, Brett, I love the fact that you made Bob hit a low volley. When your opponent comes to the net, this is exactly what you want them to look like. You want them bent over, having to volley up. When you make your opponent's volley up, the chances of winning go up. Now, not only does Brett hit the right shot here, but Brett makes the right move. Watch how Brett moves inside the baseline. This is called climbing the ladder. So he's behind the baseline, and climbing the ladder just means getting closer to the net, right? Anytime you can attack and go forward, that's a good thing. More angle, takes time away from your opponent, yada, yada. Well, when Brett hit the ball low to Bob's feet, Brett immediately moved inside the baseline, and I got to give Bob credit. Bob, you hit a good volley, right? So your volley lands right around there. The ball lands in no man's land, right? So it lands pretty deep, and that was quite good. But Brett knows that your volley has backspin, so when it bounces, it's just going to check up. And because of this, Brett gets to stay inside the service line. The baseline. He knows he does not have to retreat. Now, because of this, Bob, you want to keep track of the fact that Brett is inside the baseline, and the shot you need to give up is the lob. Do not cover the lob when your opponent is inside the baseline. Now, Brett is a tricky guy, so he might just he might just respect me right now and just start lobbing every time he's in front of the baseline just to spite me. But I can tell you this, he's going to be much more successful hitting lobs if he's moving backward behind the baseline, kind of tilting those shoulders up and making it much easier to hit that lob. But lobs from inside the baseline, not easy. There's not a lot of room over you. So this is why you actually should have closed off the net. Let's check this out. When Brett made contact with this backhand, you were not bisecting the down the line and the cross court pass. You were much closer to the down the line and really far away from the cross court. And the reason is because when you're at the net, there's something called GVP, good volleying position. It's about 6 feet from the net and about 2 feet over from the center. I want you to watch where you're standing as Brett is making contact with this ball. You are about 3.5 feet over from the center, and you're only about 2-3 feet inside the service line. If we draw where you should be at the baseline in this scenario, you'll be on the opposite side. I'll show you why I'm drawing this. So that's where you'd be at the baseline. And if you're at the net, you'd be around here, right? And if we draw a straight line, you'll notice that that is bisecting the down the line and the cross court shots. Well, look where you're positioned. Notice you are not on the red line. The red line is the bisecting line. You are too far, Bob, over to your right based on how close you are to the net. You really, after volleying here, that low volley, you, instead of moving over to your right away, you should have moved forward knowing that Brett would have been inside the baseline, given up the lob, and now you're truly capable of getting this cross-court pass. One other reason why we know that you are covering the down the line too much, right? We want to be equidistant. Like, I know that I tell players in Brett's situation, hey, just go down the line. Don't even attempt the cross court. But that's actually because the players in Bob's position are too much in the middle typically. But you actually overcorrected in that scenario. I just want you to be close to the net and barely over to the same side, especially because Brett's inside the baseline. But because of where Brett's ball lands, we know that you are covering the down the line pass because of how deep his passing shot lands. Cross court passing shots, in order to be successful, when you're in GVP, which is closer to the net than you currently are, Bob, must land in the service box, basically in the corner of the service box right there. That's where the ball has to land. For Brett to pass you and for this ball to land deep in the court, that tells you he didn't hit a really great angle. He really hit the ball through the court and not across the court in this pass. So in this situation, when you hit a volley like this, Bob, and you realize that your opponent is going to be inside the baseline, give up the lob, close off the net, and only be a little bit inside the center service line so you can cover both the down the line and cross court. Super fun point, guys, and thanks for bringing me into your controversy.
So if you're a singles player and you're really frustrated with your strategy because you keep losing to opponents you feel you should be able to beat, like a pusher, then check out the Singles Playbook, where they teach you how to beat the 7 most common playing styles in recreational tennis. How to beat the pusher, counterpuncher, aggressive baseliner, serve and volleyer, Dr. Feelgood. Those are those slice and dicers, those really annoying players who put all that spin on the ball. I hate playing those players. All court players and southpaws. See, this is over 50 pages of strategy after strategy, and each page comes with a QR code. You just put your phone or tablet up over that code and up pops a video teaching you exactly how to use these strategies. So if you want to play to your strengths while exposing your opponent's weaknesses, all while avoiding common errors, then you got to check out the Singles Playbook. You can do so by clicking the link on the screen right now.
So click right there to check out the Singles Playbook so you can start winning more matches. Bob, get into GVP when your opponent is going to go for a pass, and there's no doubt you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2MinuteTennis.net. Bob, you got this.